Now, if you heard that I was hard to get along with, well, that's just a darn lie. Why,
now, wait a minute, Alpha, I think we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves a little here.
You think so?
I think so. I think maybe we should, start at the beginning.
That seems a bit predictable, but all right. I'm Alpha Hartman. I was born about 80 miles from here in Etna, California. Now, I'm sure my father loved us, but he loved gold more and left us when I was just a young'un. Didn't trust folks too much after that. Anyhow, I became a school teacher and somehow got the reputation of being rather frugal.
Now, where do you suppose anyone would get an idea like that? I'm Jason Hartman. I come out from eastern Ohio to build barns and bridges. I built a bunch of them.
We met and married in 1998, and with the money I had so frugally saved for my teaching, bought 80 acres in the Big Sticky area near Roxy Ann. That's where we started raising our family.
We had 4 children, and Ellen and 3 boys, William Wesley, Lyle, and Homer.
Broke our hearts when our Ellen died of diabetes in 1925. But the boys were strong, and they helped Jason with his building.
Yeah, we built bridges all over Jackson County. City folks have an interesting idea about covered bridges. They seem to think that they's covered to keep them dry as they cross over. Well, I suppose they're half right, but it's to keep the bridge dry, not people. Bridge lasts longer if they's covered. Won't rot.
One of your favorites is still around.
Well, McKee Bridge, yeah, that's a beauty.
Before you built that, people was pulling themselves across in a trolley car on cables, cross 4 at a time.
Well, that Blue Ridge copper mine went in up there, and they're spending millions of dollars. They needed that bridge. That came in real handy. If you haven't seen it, go out and take a look at it. See what kind of work I done.
In 1917, we sold our 80 acres to some fellow who wanted to make a fortune in the pear business. Can you imagine? Anyhow, we took the money and bought one of the first brick houses in Jacksonville. You can see the house from over there. It's down on 5th Street.
That's a real nice house. The only thing I had to do was I just painted the red brick yellow.
Never did like that color.
But you liked the price. Got a real good deal on the paint and the painter. Let me point out something here about Alpha and her frugalness. She was also the most generous of souls. For example, she had some bowls that she wanted. She'd been looking at these bowls for quite some time. But she also knew that our friend Charlie Blitch needed false teeth. She ended up spending her money buying him teeth.
Well, Charlie needed those teeth more than I needed the bowls. But I surely could have used them. Seems like all I ever did was cook. I cooked so much in front of our old wood stove that one day my boys heard a yelp from the kitchen, and they come in to find the floor had given away in front of the stove, and I'd fallen halfway down into the basement.
I remember that. Well, the Depression was kind of tough on everybody. Alpha had her money in a good, strong bank in Medford. I was taking a flyer with a guy who was trying to compete with Beekman here in Jacksonville. Well, the guy was a crook. Ended up losing everything. Tried to get some of the other gentlemen that had also lost money to go after that fella and lynch him. Well, they's mad, but I couldn't get them to take that step.
Well, the men was still building, and I had my money, so we got along. About that time, Jason's knees gave out on him. He hobbled around on those canes for the last few years of his life.
Carved them myself.
After a spell, we just drifted apart.
Now, see, there's where that hard to get along with part.
I won't dignify that with a response. Jason died in a tiny little house over by the Petards in 1936. I stayed in the brick house with my boys and died 3 years later. I was 70 years old.
You know, we got a lot of work done in our life. And raised 3 good boys. I guess you can say a lot worse about some people, couldn't you?
I think we did just fine. Well, what are you all gawking at? Go over and pester those folks. They're waiting on you. Thank you.